Haven't filmed anything with my face in a while, but we just had another Steam sale. So for the summer sale, I did pick up a few things that were on my wish list, but there were so many like deep discounts on things that I've looked at. Like I've looked at every game on there, I swear to God. But they were like too good to pass up. And even though these games weren't like necessarily on my wish list, I always wanted to put, like, I don't add everything I want to play onto my wish list because I get stressed out. So I like to keep the ones that I really want to get when they're perfectly priced on my wish list. Then there's other like smaller games or indie games or like older games where I'm not sure they're gonna run well, but I would like to maybe eventually play them. So because there were some of those, like everything I got was basically either 90% off or 80% off. So I felt like pretty good with my choices, and I only spent, I think, like $66 and some change in there. So, and I got like 12 games. I'm going to briefly go over what I got. So I got there was the Fear collection, so the complete Fear like trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy. And then there's like some DLC thrown in there, but it's a game from 2005. It says, the premise is short and sweet. A special forces unit known as Fear, First Encounter Assault Recon, is sent to hunt down a man named Pytell, one of the main cannibalistic antagonists. It isn't long, however, before everything goes wrong, and the players push into a paranormal world of telepathically controlled super soldiers, invisible teleporting ninjas, and extremely bloody hallways. Basically, it looks pretty good, and it's like a classic because obviously it's from 2005 and it still is like highly rated. I'm hoping that the PC port here is gonna, run well. So that entire pack included Fear, the original, Fear 2, Project Origin, Fear 2, Reborn DLC, Fear 3, Fear Extraction Point, and Fear Protheus Mandate, whatever that says. And the entire thing was 90% off, $54.99. It was only $5.49. So we bought that because honestly it sounds pretty good. Horror, shooter, action, I don't know, we'll try it out. Obviously some of them, like I think probably the second like has like mixed, actually no, so it's pretty positive. But even though the second one was from 2009, so who knows? It might not be perfect, but another game I got that this one was on my wish list is Last Door. And I think this is like a very classic game. Now, as you know, I don't really necessarily like pixelated games, but this one is like, it's from, at least on PC, it's from 2014. It always has like overwhelmingly positive. It's always been like rather cheap. Like it goes on sale. When it goes on sale, it goes on sale. But the Last Door Collector's Edition, you know what? It's supposed to be a horror game. It's yes, it's a pixel game, but it's like point and click, story rich. I want to give it a try. I want to expand my horizons. I want to play everything. I want to eventually play every single game there is before I die. Is that possible? No. But I also like to play things outside of like my favorites. So that's why this one, it's hard. And it seems it could be fun. Maybe a little stressful because it's point and click. But it was only 80% off from $10. It was only $1.99. So there you go. We bought it, and I don't know. We'll see how it is. But it says, something ancient and evil is stirring in Victorian England. Only you can stop it. Journey to the brink of madness and beyond as you set forth alone into the dark. So it's in like a mansion and stuff. Best Game of the Year awards. Last Door Collector's Edition, 4 terrifying episodes of oscillate and otherworldly horror, inviting you in to investigate Victorian England's deepest, darkest secret, featuring new scenes and puzzles, enhanced graphics, unlockable bonuses, and remastered sound. I don't know, but it always gets good reviews, so it's like one of those where I feel obligated to eventually play. So the Wolfenstein games, I actually own one of them before this, but I think this one might be before Wolfenstein: The New Order. Reignites the series that created the first-person shooter genre. Wolfenstein offers a deep game narrative packed with action, adventure, and first-person combat. I own one of them, and I don't remember, because it looked really good. Let's see. Intense climactic rendered in stunning detail. But a small group of resistance fighters infiltrates their most heavily guarded facilities. So I believe this is like World War II stuff, Nazi war and everything. Oh, I own The Old Blood, which actually came out after this one. It's a standalone prequel, but it's a prequel. So it's like it came out after the New Order. So now I have the New Order, which I guess you could play this one first, the prequel, The Old Blood, and then go to the New Order. And then there's like, ones that come after that, which first we'll see if I even like the game, but it's like action. I think there's like some weird like time-based things in it. First person shooter though, so that's always good. But it looks fun. Action adventure, terror, it's a little scary. I don't know, it seems fun and it was really cheap. So that one was only $4.99. All right, it was 75% off, so less than 80%, but it's pretty close. Ooh, this one, Wolfenstein Young Blood, that's mostly negative. All right, well, maybe some of the later ones are not as good. And then Wolfenstein 2 is still pretty good, so I may get that. Like eventually, if I like the other ones, I'll probably get that one. Now this is what I'm not sure. I finally got Mad Max. Now I know this one is pretty popular, just like Fear. Fear is actually, it became a movie, but I think Mad Max is also a movie. Now I've definitely looked at this game before, and I don't think I ended up getting it or adding it to my list because even though it's a classic and a lot of people like it and talk about it, I think it's pretty heavy vehicular based, right? So not only I think you're driving a lot, but it's like, it says vehicular combat. So that means, and when that's actually tagged, like, you're gonna be driving and shooting. And that is one of the things I hate the most. Like in Cyberpunk, I hate when you have to shoot from the car. Like it doesn't work. You can't be driving and shooting at the same time unless you have like another character driving and you're just shooting, or you're just driving and they're shooting. I can't do both at the same time. So this might be a whole entire mess, but I know that it's not all driving. It's open world, post-apocalyptic, play as Mad Max, a reluctant hero and survivor who wants nothing more than to leave the madness behind and find solace. The reason why I got it is because it was only $2.99, 80% off. So I don't know, I was just so intrigued. Online functionality will retire on October 31st, 2020. So it's a very old game, but savage post-apocalyptic world where cars are the key to survival. So I don't know about that. In this action-packed open-world third-person action game, you must fight to stay alive in the wasteland using a brutal on-the-ground vehicular against vicious gangs and bandits. It seems like really action-packed, kind of fun. I don't know. We'll see how it is. I want to see the story. Who knows? Like people have talked about it, and I want to experience it myself. I hate these like classic games or titles that you always hear about that are older, obviously, because we have many years to make up for, but I'm intrigued, so it was cheap, might as well just add it. This one has been on my wish list. Disco Asylum, again, this is another like cult classic, and the reason why it's one of those like top-down 2D type vibes, and I'm not a fan of that style. It's story rich and RPG, choices matter. You're a detective with a unique skill system at your disposal and a whole city to carve your path across. Interrogate unforgettable characters, crack murders, or take bribes. Become a hero or an absolute disaster of a human being. So I just don't like the graphic style, and maybe I need to give these games a try. So this was actually part of Control, the Control game. I own that game, and so this one's always bundled with that game. And so the discount right now on Steam is $3.99, 90% off. But because I own part of one of the bundles, I got it for $3.49. So I got it for it was cheap. And I'm like, every time I don't put it in my cart, I'm like, let me just get it. I have it. And then when I feel like I want to play it, I'm going to play it. So we'll see how it is. The graphics are a little funky to me, but it seems it's like a choices matter kind of deal. I don't know, I'm intrigued. Now, this game, someone mentioned it. Someone was making like a list of like favorite games I have or ones that people haven't really heard of. It's called Remothered, and there's 2 games to it. and there is Remothered Tormented Fathers, which I believe is the first one. It's like a survival horror. You're like this woman who goes to this mansion. She has to like find out information or something. But the bundle had both this one and then the next one, which I'll get into. Psychology plays a huge role in this game. Heroes and enemies, blah, 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 the plot. The story revolves around Rosemary Reed, a fascinating 35-year-old woman who reaches Richard Felton's house in order to investigate the disappearance of a girl named Celeste. The woman is greeted by Gloria, the nurse who takes care of old Richard. When Dr. Felton understands Rosemary's true intentions, the dread begins. And I think it's a lot of like hiding, and it's survival horror, right? So I mean, it's pretty short, but it seems interesting. Like some things I think are a little clunky with it, but it has mixed reviews. So it seems interesting, and I like the plot sounded cool, and so did the story. Although it says no health bars. Your body is the only way to understand how you're doing. Who knows? I don't know how this is gonna be. But that one was in a bundle. So this alone was $199, 90% off. However, I decided to get the bundle because the bundle was only like $4 or something. But Remothered Broken Porcelain brings an abundance of welcome changes to the series, introducing new gameplay and storytelling elements that breathe new life into the characters and the unprecedented level of immersion in this haunting adventure, perfect for both new and returning fans of the series. Although I'm pretty sure there's only 2 games in the series, but this one is The Truth Buried in the Ashman Inn will now be discovered easily. In many mysteries are intertwined and guarded by the looming threat of the stalkers, powerful hunters trapped in time and the confines of the walls. Survival will take more than just a quick reactions. All right, so I think it's a little bit different, but I don't know. I just got it. We're gonna see how it is. It's a little more indie, a little more out there, but I haven't really heard people. I mean, I watched some of the gameplay on YouTube and it looked interesting, so we'll see how that is. Now, this is an indie horror game that has been on my wish list, Dream Cage. It just came out in February 6th. It has mixed reviews, but I was like, you know what? It looks so good, and there's some good jump scares in there. Robert battles early Alzheimer's and nightly sleep paralysis. I have sleep paralysis. It is pretty terrifying. Each night reveals fragments of its past, uncover the truth, and help him solve the mysteries hunting his mind. So it was only, the reason why I got it was only $159. So super cheap, nice, short indie horror. Normally it's like $8, I think, 80% off. It's new, and I like the quirky indie horror. You're not gonna get a perfectly beautiful game, but typically, sometimes they just run better than other games because they were purposely made for PC, like, it'll be fine. 5 unique demons will be haunting you. Experience 5 nights of sleep paralysis based on true stories. Your microphone captures every sound. Can you survive? We're gonna be screaming. Find 25 anomalies. 2 endings and only 1 reveals the ultimate truth. Memory lapses will cause distraction. Face random hauntings. It seems interesting, and that's why I'm like, shit, it's cheap, let's just try it out. Now, because I enjoyed Resident Evil 7, right? And the Resident Evil community online is pretty, like, they're good, and they're a friendly group, and everyone likes Resident Evil content. So after finishing 7, Resident Evil Village is the sequel to it. So I felt obligated, I have to play that. So I did get Resident Evil Village, and it was 75% off, so it was only $9.99, and that's why I bought it, and that's what we're playing right now. We are in the middle of streaming that. Actually, by the time you see this video, I would have finished the game, but you can view it. I streamed it 4 times. We finished the game. I actually like Village more. I'm not going to say so much more. No, I might say so much more than Resident Evil 7. I love Ethan, and I love playing as Ethan. This Resident Evil Village, I think, goes back more to the roots of Resident Evil games, where there's more of that like fantasy evil vibe, but it was so much more fun. Like, it jumps right into the action. Like, there's no buildup of the horror, like, it's thrown in there. And I've had so much fun streaming it, and everyone else likes watching it. And I think maybe because it's very new, very new, but it came out in 2021, so it's like newer, right? And it's fun, and I'm really enjoying the game. That's why it has overwhelmingly positive. Highly recommend. Play 7, then go right to 8, and then, you know, we're all ready for 9 when it comes out. The other Resident Evil game that I know I wanted to play, because I've seen people stream this, is Resident Evil 2. Now, the remake came out in 2019, and again, another overwhelmingly positive one. They're in the city, and I watched a stream. I remember it was like one morning I was laying in bed watching TikTok, and I was watching someone live stream this, and I was like, oh my god, that looks really fun. And we're gonna play it. So this is going to be our first true old school Resident Evil game, but remastered obviously. A deadly virus engulfs the residents of Raccoon City in September of 1998, plunging the city into chaos as flesh-eating zombies roam the streets for survivors. An unparalleled adrenaline rush, gripping storyline, and unimaginable horrors await you. Witness the return of Resident Evil 2. And we finally get to play as Leon. So I bought that because it was only $9.99. Now, the other one that is obviously like super popular right now is Resident Evil 4, because the remake just came out. However, it was only $19.99 as a discount right now, so I'm waiting. We'll get that one maybe during the fall sale or Black Friday. I definitely want to pay that because it's very, very highly rated. People are saying it's really good. But again, that's too much for us. Like, no, once it gets to maybe like $15 max, but I don't want to spend that much on a game. When I'm buying through the sales, it's got to be really cheap. And so we're just not going to get that one right now. We don't need to. We have plenty of other things to play. So those, actually, I haven't put any of the Resident Evil games on my wish list because it's more like I know they're out there, and when I see a good deal, I will grab them. This one was not on my wish list, but it was in one of like the steeply discounted featured games. Little Nightmares 2. And it's weird because Little Nightmares, the original one, is not discounted at all right now. Little Nightmares 3 is coming out soon. Little Nightmares 2 was discounted to only $2.99. I didn't necessarily, this is another game where it's those weird graphics where it's like that 2D, 3D, like whatever kind of vibe that is. That's why I was like, I don't know. It's puzzle, it's, you know, it's like one of those more like cheeky horror games. But Little Nightmares 2 is the second game in the series that has thrilled and captivated millions of players worldwide since 2017. Now it's your turn to try to survive the critically acclaimed entry in the most charming horror series ever made. A boy wakes up alone in the woods surrounded by the husks of burnt-out televisions. After stumbling through traps and pitfalls in the wilderness, he finds a girl locked in the basement of a dark and terrible house with only a music box to keep her company. This is their story. So you're working together with this. I don't know. We're gonna see how it is. It's so cheap, and again, it's something that it's like one of those games you always hear about. So, or the franchise at least you always hear about. So we might as well play it. So I think the rest of these I did not have on my list. And like I said, I didn't get a lot that were on my list. I got a lot that I just saw really good discounts that I wanted to grab. This one, someone was saying how it's such a good game, overwhelmingly positive. From 2016, Titanfall 2. Now, apparently, the story is just very good. Respawn Entertainment gives you the most advanced Titan technology in its new single-player campaign and multiplayer experience. So I believe this was like a PvP game, maybe, or like a multiplayer game. The original at least. Combine and conquer with new Titans and pilots, deadlier weapons, and customizable progression. The reason why I got this was it seemed kind of, you know, akin to a Mass Effect, like something like that, where it's very, you know, out there, a little cyberpunky, little more like RPG type of build, but the story apparently is very good. Call down your Titan and get ready for an exhilarating first-person shooter experience in Titanfall 2. The sequel introduces a new single-player campaign. So I think this was, the first one didn't have a single-player campaign that explores the bond between pilot and Titan, or blast your way through an even more innovative and intense multiplayer experience. So we're here for the story mode, the story campaign. That's what we're doing. People say it's just so good. So I got it because it was 85% off. It was $4.49. So I'm intrigued. The other game I got was another bundle, and it was the Middle-earth Shadow Bundle. It was 90% off for $6.99. Actually, I think this might be like the most expensive thing. So it says $70, right? Experience an epic open world brought to life by the award-winning Nemesis system. Forge a new ring of power, conquer fortresses and massive battles, and dominate Mordor with your personal orc army in Middle-earth Shadow of War Definitive Edition. The Definitive Edition includes all downloadable content, blah, blah, blah. Nemesis and story expansions include new playable characters. So it included Middle-earth Shadow of War, Middle-earth Shadow of War Expansion Pass, Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, and Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor Game of the Year Edition upgrade. So Shadow of War experienced an epic open world brought to life by warding out the Nemesis and blah, blah, blah. So I believe this is like a pretty big like RPG game from 2017. A lot of fantasy. I don't know. It was so cheap, and I'm like, all right, if it was normally like super expensive like that, and people say it's pretty good. So Shadow of Mordor. Fight through Mordor and uncover the truth of the spirit that compels you. Discover the origins of the rings of power. It's kind of like, you know, a little witchery, but more like, maybe is it more Souls-like? Am I allowed to say that? Am I using them? Fantasy, adventure, action? I don't know, but we're gonna see how that is. Those obviously are gonna be longer games. Now, this is completely out of my like comfort zone. We got Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy. I thought all the Marvel games were like PvP games. Well, not this one. This one, Guardians of the Galaxy, apparently has a very good like story mode campaign. Like that's what it is, right? Single player, story rich, superheroes. I am not into that kind of stuff, but hey, might as well, again, expand our horizons, try new things. I got this too because I felt like this might give me that feeling of Mass Effect. I've been chasing that feeling. I've been chasing the feeling of Mass Effect and of Cyberpunk, and I feel like this game might combine some of those elements and give me a little bit of that fulfillment. Fire up for a wild ride across the cosmos with a fresh take on Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. In this action-adventure game, you are Star-Lord leading the unpredictable Guardians from one explosion of chaos to the next. I don't know, people say it's really good. Probably the best Marvel game out there, definitely a gem. All right, I'll admit it, I went into this game expecting another Marvel Avengers style disaster. It's not. The story is legit good. Like, no. All right, so people say it's good. I don't know, and I'm hoping that my expectations will be met. It might not, but whatever. Now, the last game I had a gift card that had like $1 on it. I'm like, I need to buy some indie game with this specific amount that's less than that. So this game, 70% off. It was 89 cents, and it's called The Deep Inside. The Deep Inside is a first-person psychological horror game. You are a police officer trying to find out who is behind the most high-profile murders in the city and have therefore become the #1 target for a maniac. I don't know, it was so cheap and I just needed something. I didn't want to waste the card. So again, super indie game. It came out in November 1st, 2024, so it's new. There is a string of high-profile gruesome murders in the city, and the killer has yet to be caught. You're a police officer, blah, blah, puzzles. You will encounter many challenges, so there's puzzles, atmosphere, intense first-person psychological horror. I don't know, I mean, it's not rated bad. Most people give it a thumbs up, so we're gonna see how it is. It doesn't matter, it was 89 cents, I need to spend the money. That's what we got. So yeah, those are my games. Pretty decent haul, right? And the other game that I was like, maybe I should finally get was Alien Isolation. It was $9.99. I still didn't get it because someone said that it's AI. Like the thing, I don't know, people say like eventually the game just drags on too much. And I'm like, should I get it? I don't know, and it's still there. I can still get it right now, $9.99, but I'm like, maybe I should just wait. Because I know that I probably wouldn't play that like right away. And the other game, I'm like, God, the Assassin's Creed game, that's a whole other thing. But like Black Flag, I believe, is getting remastered. So I'm like, should I get it now for $11.99, but I should just wait? But will it be more expensive? I think one of the games, The Sinking City, they jacked the price up because they remastered it, but people are saying the remaster is not good. And I regret, they just released the remaster and they took away the original. And I'm like, shit, because now I can't play the original, and this was only discounted to $15.99. I'm not spending that on that game. Still Lakes of Deep I didn't get yet. Again, these are more like $20 games, $17.99 a lot of these were. Layers of Fear. Like, I have all those, and eventually I will get them. Pacific Drive, more of the story mode games ones. At Dead of Night. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these I'm gonna wait, and we'll get them, later on. But yeah, that is my little Steam haul. I felt pretty good about my purchases, and now we'll just get games as, obviously Steam always has sales. Like there's always like weekly sales for certain specific categories, whatever. There's always games there. So obviously there's gonna be a fall sale, and then obviously the biggest discount you'll find will be on Black Friday. However, sometimes you do find some classic, awesome sounding games super steeply discounted, like in these random sales, right? And that's why it's like you might as well, you see, like you can't beat those prices sometimes. $199 for like certain games, like awesome. So, and when games are like $70, like the Marvel game, like why would I? Of course I'm gonna get it. It's only $5.99, $6, and it might fulfill my Mass Effect need. I'm gonna buy it. So that is it. The other game that I don't know, I'm really torn on if I want to buy a full price game. But when Mafia 4 comes out, or Mafia Old Country, on August 8th, I believe, do I buy it right away or do I wait? And we'll see. I don't know, because do I want to spend $50 on it when I know that all 2K games are pretty short and linear? Even though I am the Mafia girl, I don't know. So let me know in the comments below what you guys picked up for the Steam sale. Let me know if I missed something that I should have bought. Let me know if you played any games and how you liked them. But yeah, that's it. So like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys back here next week.